Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. It's Carolyn. Today I have a challenge video for you. So this is going to be focusing on shadow work, and I want you to go through your tarot and oracle collection and find your creepiest cards. So basically your creepiest cards are going to be the cards that rub you the wrong way, get under your skin, and have some sort of negative emotion tied to it, that when you look at the card, it either confuses you, makes you angry, stirs up this emotion, and it's kind of like you're drawn to this card, but you're not drawn to it for positive messages. You're not drawn to it because you like the card, but you're drawn to the card because there's like a deeper message that's rubbing you the wrong way. It's kind of hurting your ego. This is going to be really great for shadow work, especially for those of you where you don't know where to begin with shadow work. Sometimes we have so many things in our life that we need to heal and we don't know what to approach first. So this is a fun way to ease into shadow work. So I went through my collection. I ended up with 5 cards for today's video. I did the same concept a couple years ago. I'll have that video linked in the cards above. And I will say that when I was going through my collection, I did not have the same negative feelings towards those cards anymore. So this is a really good way. If there's even a card that just scares you because it's some sort of inner wound from when you were growing up that you were always afraid of it. Like for instance, there was one card in my last video that was kind of like a Pinocchio clown type thing, and it creeped me out because it reminded me of puppets, and I just don't necessarily love those things, and now I am no longer afraid of them. So even if it's just a basic fear, sometimes doing shadow work and facing it can help you overcome it. And so the goal of this challenge is just to help you face some of these inner triggers and help you either break down where it's stemming from, see if there's something you actually need to heal, or at least acknowledge it so you know how to cope with it better. And this also will give you a better understanding of the card, where now when this appears in your readings, you're not going to go off your own bias of what the card is saying to your own ego, and you can actually get to the true meaning of these cards. Some of the cards you'll see me talk about today, I actually included because there is a block with the message that I'm not understanding, and I want to do shadow work so I can understand the true meaning of the card. And so I feel like this is a really good challenge even for myself. If you do decide to do this, let me know how it works for you in the comments down below, and if you make your own video, definitely let me know. I would love to check it out. And if you want to contact me on other social media platforms, everything's going to be linked in the description box down below. I want to say, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this family. Make sure you turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I post new videos every single week, and I'm going to have other videos of mine linked in the cards above that you can watch after this one. So the first creepiest card is actually an oracle card. It's from the Wisdom of the Oracle, and it's the card that says not for you. And so the reason this card is creepy for me is because I don't like being told no. I have a fixed sign Grand Cross in my astrology chart, so I'm someone where I am very stubborn. And so if I have an idea where I want to do something, I don't want to be told no. And so the reason why this card rubs my ego the wrong way is because it's doing the exact opposite of what my ego wants. And it's a more practical card. Instead of just saying, oh, everything's going to be okay, go for your goals, it's going to be fine. It's a practical card because it's giving you the honest truth. And so while this card is definitely needed in the deck, and it's a really insightful card, it is definitely a card that triggers me because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be told no. And so that's something that I am working on, and I am working on not only just being self-aware when I'm stubborn, because I know when I'm being stubborn, but I don't do anything to change that, and I still want to be told things that make me continue with the way that I'm going. I don't want to be told, hey, you need to change things. That's something that's very difficult for me. I'm very slow to actually adapt and to change. And so with that being said, that's something that I am working on, and so hopefully I can get to a point where when this card appears in my reading, it doesn't make me upset, and it is something that I embrace. But as of right now, I do find it creepy for the fact it's a daunting card. When I'm using this deck, it's like, oh no, is this card going to appear? And I also think a main reason that my ego does not like this card is that it's not saying, hey, switch gears, adapt things, try things out a little bit differently. It's literally saying not for you, as in no matter what you do, this plan's not going to work out. It's not in your fortune. It's not going to happen. And that's why in tarot, I can embrace the death card. I can embrace the tower card, because to me, they represent adapting, changing, figuring things out, navigating them. I'm someone where I can navigate things. I can find a new plan, and I can do all that. But if you tell me to stop completely, that makes my ego want to shut down and stop the reading, not continue further, because it's something that I don't want to hear. And so that is something that I am working on, but I think that's the difference of why this card in particular is creepy to my ego and why it triggers it so much. So the next creepy tarot card is from the Wizard's Tarot, and it's the Moon card. And the reason that I find this creepy is because it's so confusing. Now I know the Moon card represents confusion. It represents the unseen, the hidden things, secrets, and all that type of stuff. stuff. But to me, this card is so confusing because it's so imaginative that it's almost like you can't solve the mystery. The reason why I like the moon is because it's kind of like alluring and it has hidden secrets, but like there's an ability to solve them. And the reason why this card is so like confusing to me and kind of creeps me out is it's so eerie because there's nothing to solve. You don't even know where to begin. It's a very overwhelming card. And so to me, because it's so imaginative, because it's so chaotic, there's no way to solve it. There's no way to figure out what the moon card is telling you. And so when it appears in readings for me, it kind of indicates like, hey, you might not get an answer and you have to be okay with that. And that's something that as someone who likes to solve things and figure them out and learn and evolve and move on from things by understanding them, when there's something that I'm not being told, something that I can't understand, it makes me very uncomfortable. And so I think that's why I find this card to be very creepy, because you can't solve it. It's a complete mystery. It's like an enigma. There's no way to solve it. And that's why my ego doesn't like it, because there's nothing that I can do about it. There's nothing to be solved. There's nothing that is indicating that I can work with to find a solution or trace anything onto. Now, obviously this isn't always the case, but the image of the card is what brings up this for me. And so it represents the confusion of the card really well. I'm just not a fan of the confusion that the card is representing. My next creepy card is from the Witch's Wisdom Oracle deck. It's the Scrying Mirror Shadow card. And so quite literally, it's representing the shadow. So no wonder why it's triggering my ego doing this shadow work. But the reason why this card is creepy to me is because I'm meant to learn how to scry. That's something that I've been sensing from my spirit team, is they want me to get a scrying mirror. They want me to start using it, but I haven't done so yet because I am a little bit afraid. I'm a little bit intimidated by it because of the things that you can see. And like it's depicted here in the image, there are things that you're going to see that you're not always going to like. And so that is a mental block for myself that I am being told to work on and kind of throw myself into the deep end and do so, but I haven't done so yet. And so when this card appears in readings, it's just a reminder of something that I have not yet faced. I haven't overcome this fear that I have, even though I'm being told that it's time. And so this is just something personally that I need to work on. And once I do so, and I do start using the scrying mirror, I don't think I'll find this card creepy anymore. It's just an internal block that I'm facing right now. So my next creepy card is the Devil card from the Raven's Prophecy Tarot. And the reason why I find this card to be so creepy is because this devil is represented by a mask. And so to me, I know that this can be applied to all devil cards, but seeing it depicted in the symbolism here, it's like, oh, the devil can literally be anyone and you won't ever know it because they're wearing a mask, because they're a camouflage, or because they're a chameleon. They're blending in with the crowd. And so seeing this card in particular, it stirs up the fact of, oh, the devil is everyone. The devil is not like the singular person. And so it's like when I'm doing a reading with this deck, it's not indicating clearly who the devil is. It's not saying, hey, this is this specific person. It's saying it could be anyone. And so it's a little bit more ambiguous than the other devil cards that I have in my collection. I really like this devil card, but at the same time, it makes me very uneasy because it brings up that energy of, okay, how do we assess this? How do we break it down? Because like I said, with the moon card, I'm someone where I like to problem solve. I like to figure things out. And so I like to address like, okay, who's the problem? Who is this devil? Am I the devil? And face that within myself and then start to break it down by understanding it. And with this card, the symbolism of it is saying you might not be able to, because you might not be able to pinpoint who this person is just yet. And so that's just the psychological reason why this card is creepy to me. Now going with the physical reason why this card is creepy, it looks like this devil mask is revealing the muscle underneath, like all the skin has been removed. And so you have someone's muscle, so you have their vulnerability. So with this devil comes the energy of being someone's true self, seeing who they truly are and not liking it, not accepting it. And so this brings up the fear of like, hey, sometimes you might see the truth of the situation or the truth of a person and it's not going to be what you want. And then it's also like the goriness of it. I'm someone where I don't like a lot of gore. I don't like blood. I don't like things like that. And so to have it look like it's literally someone's face being peeled, to me that like triggers like, oh, okay, I'm uneasy with this card just because it's not an image that I like. Kind of like in the previous video with the puppet, that was just a fear of mine. So this is just another fear of mine, very surface level, but I'm not someone, I don't like gore. And so anything that makes me think of the body and medical things and seeing things that are supposed to be covered, that makes me very uncomfortable. And so there's a lot to unpack with this devil card here, why it creeps me out. And so this is something in my own shadow work journey I'll dive into even more. But that's what I like about this video, do is it gives you an avenue to look into things that maybe you never thought of before. Before I did shadow work with this devil card, I never really thought about the devil being in everyone and what that truly means, and analyzed it from a psychological point of view. And so by doing the shadow work, it's giving me a little bit more insight into how my mind works and how I perceive things. So then the last creepy card is from the InBetween Tarot. It's the Temperance card. So for those of you where you're unfamiliar with the InBetween Tarot, basically this is a tarot deck that connects one card into the next. So in the order of the major arcana, you have Temperance and then the Devil. And so it makes sense why the devil imagery is in this card, because you're combining the energy of Temperance and the Devil for the in-between. But this card is a bit confusing to me because I don't see it as the Temperance card. I see it as the Devil card. Now I want to say the Devil card in this deck I actually love. I think it merges the Devil and the Tower really well. But I feel like this Temperance card, something gets lost in translation for me, and it makes me uncomfortable when this card appears because I don't sense temperance. I sense temptation. And so that's where there is some shadow work that I need to do in order to figure out the deeper meaning of this card in a way that makes sense for me. Because like I said, there's temperance and then there's temptation. And the two are kind of opposite of one another. I don't see willpower. I don't see restraint. I see people who are going for what they want. It almost reminds me of like the Adam and Eve imagery with the devil and the tree of life and the apple. And so it's like you have these people where there's not temperance, there's not caution, there's not patience. There's just the devil, because the devil is kind of pulling the strings above the whole situation. Like we see in the imagery here, it's like the devil's in the shadows. And so this is just a card that kind of makes me a little bit confused and not fully understand it. And so it's definitely something I'm going to have to sit with and figure out a way to make it not as confusing, because to me, it's not like I hate this card, but it's just a card that is very confusing for me because I don't understand the temperance energy here. As I'm talking it out, one way that maybe there could be temperance is that it's not depicting the temperance of the people, but temperance of the devil waiting and pulling the strings and waiting for his dreams, his fruition to come into play and have people do his own bidding for him. So that could be an avenue that I have to do shadow work on. But I also feel like I don't love this as temperance, because temperance to me is balance, patience, alchemy. Being the one in control of things, but still balancing and working with the elements. And so now you have this devil here who kind of looks like he's the one doing things for people. And so it removes this sense of control that I feel the temperance card has. So I think that also is why this card is a little off-putting to me and makes it a little bit creepy, because it's almost indicating like your temperance is not of your own doing. The patience here isn't of the people and them getting what they want. It's about other people using you and manipulating you so they get what they want. But now that I'm talking it out a little bit more, I'm also kind of wondering if maybe the devil in this card is representing the devil energy, and with temperance you're supposed to say no. You're supposed to stop your inner devil from pursuing things and have that patience for yourself, where you take a step outside of yourself, you have that objectivity, and you do what is actually best for you instead of doing what you want in the moment. And so as you can see, there's a lot of shadow work that I have to do with this card, but that's why I like doing this series, because it kind of gives you the time to take a step outside of your traditional readings with the cards and actually understand, how they're making you feel, what you're sensing, and understand yourself and understand them on a deeper level than you have before. And I feel like it's not only going to enhance my readings with the cards, but also just help me connect with myself and face some things that I might not have even been aware of before. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found my breakthroughs of the cards a little bit entertaining, and my examples of the shadow work help you do this with your own cards. I feel like this is really insightful, and it's a fun way to do shadow work where you're not doing it so seriously, but you're still doing it in a way that is productive for you. And so if you end up doing this challenge yourself, let me know how it goes. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family, and I'm going to have other videos into the cards above for you to watch next. I have a whole shadow work playlist if you want to watch more of my readings. I also post other fun videos like this that help you not only learn but also have fun along the way, especially those of you where you are learning tarot. I have an entire playlist where I take pop culture references and I relate the tarot cards to them to help you understand them a bit better in a non-traditional way. And so I hope that you found this video helpful, you find my channel helpful, and so like I said, definitely subscribe, become a part of this family. I would love to have you here. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye.